Welcome to the show. Today we have a special guest on the show. His name is Mamadou Ka. He's a special advisor to the Mayor of Dakar in finance and investment. Now, today's show, we're going to focus on the Global Forum on Social Economy, organized by the GSEF, which will be held in Dakar. And Mr. Carr, first and foremost, if you can talk about this particular event and the importance of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. The Global Social Economy Forum is one of the major international meetings on the social and solidarity economy, which brings together every 2 years all the stakeholders of the social and solidarity economy. This goes from local and national governments to civil society actors, networks, and also includes international organizations and private sector actors to share practices, experiences, policies, and visions to build a more inclusive and equitable world. The GSEF is an international platform that promotes social and solidarity economy. And this is totally in alignment with Mayor Jazz's vision of putting human beings at the center of all his policies, notably to fulfill his vision of Dakar Binyubok, which means Dakar we all share.
And I just want you to quickly touch on the importance of it taking place in Dakar.
The importance of it taking place in Dakar is that it's the first time this is being held in Africa. The previous 5 forums were held in Seoul in 2013 and 2014. In 2016 was in Montreal, and 2018 in Bilbao, and the last one was in Mexico in 2021. So this being the first time it's being held in Africa is of great importance, and it will take place from May 1st to May 6th, 2023 in Dakar, Senegal. So it is important also as it will bring a lot of people from all continents to Senegal. We're expecting about 4,500 to 5,000 people. We also have to note that an event of this dimension had to involve a lot of mobilization from the human aspect, as well as material and financial resources, which is why this forum was co-financed by the city of Dakar, the state of Senegal, and also other technical and financial partners.
I mean, as you know, in your position, you'd be very aware about these type of events that take place across the continent of Africa. But I want to ask, in terms of the benefits, we've seen so many forums being held, as I said. How would this particular event benefit, one, Senegal, and two, across the entire region, the continent of Africa?
Yes, I believe elected local officials and leaders from all Africa, including international experts and representatives of development agencies, have to commit to promoting this type of economy because it is centered on people and the respect of the environment, which is an essential tool for achieving the sustainable development objective as mentioned by the United Nations. Additionally, I believe also that successful initiatives carried out by African governments and actors involved in SSE all over the world should be highlighted in order to encourage the sharing of practices and to offer a real platform for mutual learning. And Africa has been doing this for centuries, I would say. It is of the utmost importance.
And on that day of the event, because I heard you saying that it would take place on the 1st of May to the 6th of May, right?
Absolutely,
and
yes.
What exactly is going to take place in terms of sessions? You know, is there going to be events on policies? Is there going to be, what's going to take place?
Yes, we have different themes for this year's forum. The main theme being a transition from informal economies to collective and sustainable economies for local territories. This forum will host more than 80 conferences across 7 sub-themes. So in addition to policy panels, plenaries, roundtable workshops, and self-managed sessions, the proceedings of the forum will also be published and distributed worldwide. There will also be special events. The first one being the Pre-Youth Forum that will bring together young people from more than 100 cities. This program will consist of inspiring presentations, workshops, exhibitions. There will also be employment and entrepreneurship opportunities available for young people. This pre-forum will also integrate a caravan of 150 young people from several West African countries who will participate directly in the activities to promote the integration of people in solidarity. The second important side events that we will also have will be the Women Pre-Forum, where we will highlight the need to empower the social and economic status of women, especially in local territories, and try to develop responses to a lot of questions concerning women. Some of the questions being, what are the best structuring investments in favor of women and the long-term benefits? What are some of the productive funding policies and business support mechanisms that we should develop for women? And also, how do we strengthen the equal participation of women, which is no longer only an issue of justice, as we know, or democracy, but also a requirement of their social emancipation.
Okay, interesting. Now, I just wanted to focus a little bit on the youth because the continent has a youthful population. Mm-hmm. These events take place, and I mean, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic idea, by the way, that is geared towards the youth and youth participation in this event. But if I may ask, I mean, it's better late than never. If I may ask, why do you think there's been, for a long time, there's been lack of representation when it comes to policy making or events such as these with the inclusion of youth?
I believe that some of the reason is like the policies that have been put in place by a lot of organizations were more at the supranational level. And when you go to the local territories, that's where you find the importance of these young people and of women, because forums that existed before were concentrating more on regular economy, if I might say. So having this view of forum will help put women and these young people on the map, because young people, as we know, in Africa, especially in Senegal, 75% of people in Senegal are under 30 years old. So, which makes it a very important constituent of the country. So we need to empower these youths to have a model to follow. And this is what this forum will bring to Senegal and to Africa, we hope.
Now, you made mention about some of the events we'll be covering or looking at the informal sector. And, this is symmetrical across the continent of Africa. The informal sector is not properly regulated. And in terms of countries trying to widen the tax net, unable to tax these sectors. I mean, it's difficult because a lot of the times when you tend to talk to people about this, the number one problem has always been trying to find a way to try to, for the government to also tax these sectors, the informal sectors, which could add significantly to economies across the continent. Is this what we're talking about here? Ways to include or to incorporate the informal sector?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it means. We have to formalize this sector because this sector has not been structured as it should have been. So, by structuring this sector, I believe we would achieve a lot of the transition that we need from informal economies to more of a collective and sustainable economy, especially for local territories.
Interesting. Now, I want to, if we could just push on a little bit, because in as much as this is a fantastic idea, another argument will be, okay, this policy is great, it's fantastic. I mean, this event is great, it's fantastic to get stakeholders involved, to let people, especially the youth, and so on and so forth. But the argument has always been the influence of external factors I'm talking about here. The influence of one, the UN, the so-called superpowers or stronger economies on what the continent is trying to achieve. Is there any influence, one? And two, how would this be different to any other events and trying to actually make this come to fruition, and for the youth who come to this event to be able to go on to apply whatever has been discussed, and they can also benefit from this?
Yes, I believe there's influence because there's the no one left behind principle of the 2030 agenda on sustainable development. So, and also as we saw this week, the UN made a big declaration on social and solidarity economy. So there's a big influence from other nations outside of Africa that are trying to push this. So as for ourselves in Senegal, we have been developing what we call the Citizens Observatory that will actually be launched this Wednesday coming up. So this is basically a hub or a platform where we will have all the constituents of Dakar City. Might they be religious, political, or social, that can bring all types of ideas together so we can formulate policies and find solutions to some of the issues that we're facing here in Dakar City. But yes, to answer your question, there's been a big influence from the Western world, yes.
Okay, and for an individual from Dakar who wants to come to this event, how can one, get involved? So
actually, there's a link that I'll send you where everybody can have their registrations. We have a lot of stands. Anybody can really participate. I mean, it's an event where everybody's invited. So especially Africans, because this is the first time this is being held in Africa. And as we said, we expecting 4,500 to 5,000 people. So and all walks of life are invited. So the link will be shared with you, so you can share it with your audience.
Now, everything is about politics, and it is the political will that will help these policies to be implemented. How sure are you, do you think, of this event, that post this event, issues that are discussed, that, we will see something actually coming out of it?
I am very confident that we would have a big declaration coming out of this forum, because as I said, this forum is not only financed by the city of Dakar, but it's also co-financed by the state of Senegal and a lot of technical and financial partners. And a lot of international organizations like the UN. The UN is also pushing this to fruition. So I believe that there's a big support for it, that a lot of nations are behind it. It's been the big talks of some of the past COPs, especially at the past COP 27 in Egypt. There's objectives of sustainable development that have been talked about for the past few years. So I believe there's big support for it. And this will be seen in the declaration of Dakar when the forum is over.
Let's talk a bit about ECOWAS and how this could benefit ECOWAS.
ECOWAS, I believe a forum of this magnitude should definitely benefit ECOWAS because in recent periods of, especially in the past the recent periods of global economic and political uncertainty that we've seen in the past couple of years, and also COVID, highlighted that there are flaws of the regular models that are based on maximum profit, and confirm the need to invent an alternative and a different development model that is more inclusive and sustainable, especially in West Africa. I believe that beyond the constitution of a set of economic activities, we are also proposing an African social model, not only ECOWAS, but the African one, where those excluded from the formal system can find their place. And as we talked about earlier, this will meet the leave no one behind principle of the 2030 agenda on sustainable development. And I believe the transition from informal economies to local collective and sustainable economies, especially in ECOWAS, is a viable solution to rebalance inequalities in Africa. First, we need to start with ECOWAS and then broaden it to the whole of Africa.
I know we're running out of time here, and I just want to ask you one question before we move on. Senegal is actually described as one of the best democracies across the continent of Africa. And if I may ask, because there has been reports whether the president, Macky Sall, would seek a third term. And of course, the constitution provides only 2 consecutive terms. Now I want to know, where are we now? Is it something that he will go for, or he will uphold the constitution?
Actually, we're still in a gray area because he hasn't come out and said that he's not going to run for another term. But we all know that the Constitution says that no one can have more than 2 mandates as presidents. So we're hoping that he'll come to better terms and that he won't run and respect the Constitution, because in 2016 we had a referendum where he asked Senegalese people to vote for this. He's the one who initiated it, and we hope that he's going to keep his word. But we're still in a gray area as it stands. But there's a lot of the opposition party is definitely fighting against a third mandate for the president. So we're hoping that it's not going to happen, because this has to stop in Africa.
Mamadou Ka, thank you very much for taking time out to talk to us. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, Jones, it was my pleasure. As always, hopefully I'll come to Ghana and see you soon.
Definitely. And before we sign off, where can people get information about the event?
Okay, people can get the event by just going on Google and typing 2023 GSEF Dakar, and a link to registration and everything will be provided for them.
Fantastic. Once again, thank you for coming on the show.
It's my pleasure, Jones. And talk to you soon.
Sur la presqu'île du Cap-Vert, Dakar, la capitale du Sénégal et ville la plus occidentale de l'Afrique, est une porte d'entrée sur le continent. Ville cosmopolite, ouverte sur le monde, Dakar se distingue par son dynamisme social quotidien. L'hospitalité légendaire de sa population fait partie intégrante de l'identité du pays de la Teranga. Dakar, ville aux immenses ressources socio-économiques et culturelles, capitale mondiale de l'économie sociale et solidaire en 2023. Social Economy Forum, GSEF, trouvera à Dakar en 2023 un terreau propice à son expansion. Notre capitale répond en effet à tous les critères d'une organisation réussie du 6e GSEF, tant du point de vue de la qualité de ses infrastructures, de sa sécurité et de son système de transport, que de la mobilisation des acteurs de l'économie sociale et solidaire.
Bienvenue au Centre international de formation des autorités et des leaders, CIFAL Dakar.
La plateforme des acteurs non étatiques du Sénégal se mobilise aux côtés de la ville de Dakar pour GSEF Dakar 2023.
Bienvenue au Fonds de développement et de solidarité municipale en abrégé FODEM.
Le réseau des acteurs et collectivités territoriales pour l'économie sociale et solidaire, RACTES, prêt à accueillir GSEF Dakar 2023.
Tous mobilisés pour GSEF Dakar 2023.